YouTube, this is Team Change of Heart here with another deck profile. Just a quick shout out. This is a deck profile that I saw GalacticGod do a couple weeks ago. This is my Hands of Justice deck profile. So I just want to give recognition to him. He was the first one that I saw come out with the idea for this video, so I don't want anybody to think this is my idea, but this is just the build the way I run it. I really like this deck. I've been wanting to run Elemental Heroes for a long time, but I could never find a build that I really thought was good enough. So this build has been really fun. I actually played it in locals this past weekend, and I did pretty good. I was in 7th place all the way until the last round and ended up losing just because of a couple of dumb mistakes that I made. But overall, I think the deck's doing really good. I actually played the new Artifact build, and I beat that build. So I had a couple of tough matchups, but it did pretty good, and I really enjoyed playing it. So let's go ahead and get to the deck profile. We're going to start with monsters. First off, you run 3 Elemental Hero Neos Alias. Like any other Elemental Hero build, you don't run a lot of monsters, so I actually only run 12. So I run 3 Neos Alias, I run 3 Bubble Man, and then that's the only Elemental Heroes I run. After that, I just run 3 Fire Hand and 3 Ice Hand, and that is why it's called Hands of Justice. It's just Elemental Heroes and then the hands that work out really well. Everyone knows that the reason you only run so many Elemental Heroes in an Elemental Hero deck is because they have their own Rota. So this makes up for not running so many cards. This helps you pull the monsters whenever you're having trouble drawing into them. And then to round it off, I run the 1 Reinforcement of the Army. I don't run the what is it called, the one where you play it and you pay half your life points to special an Elemental Hero or a Warrior or whatever it is. I think I can't remember what it's called at the moment right now. But I don't run that because I don't like paying half my life points, and I don't have that much problem drawing a monster anyways, so I just don't feel like I really need it. And then with any deck that runs Geminis, you run Gemini Spark. So because Neos Alias is a Gemini, this works out really well. It gives you a draw. You get to destroy something on your opponent's field, so no reason not to run it. And then for the fusion cards, I run 3 Miracle Fusion, just to make use of your graveyard. And then I also run 3 Super Polymerization. Probably the best card in the deck. The only reason people don't like playing heroes, or don't like playing against heroes, is because of this card. You just steal their field, and then this can't even be negated. The biggest problem with this card is that you have to discard a card. So sometimes I won't have a hand, and I'll just have this set, and it's really dead. But other than that, it's a great card. I was running it too at locals, where I did okay, but it wasn't coming up enough, so I wanted to bump it up, and so now I'm going to test it at 3. So I'll let you guys know how that works out for me, but like I said, the 2 just wasn't coming up enough, so I bumped it up to 3. And then I run 3 Mystical Space Typhoon. In this deck, you basically run like 9 MSTs. So you have the 3 Ice Hands, and then you have the 3 MSTs, and then you have 3 Gemini Sparks. So you're not going to be too worried about back row. You're going to have some way to answer it, and I think that's one of the reasons this deck does so well. But anyways, and then because you don't special a lot, especially on your turn, like I just run Pod Duality. The only time you really special on your turn is with the Miracle Fusion, and obviously you're going to have that in your hand already, so you're going to know if you need to special that turn. But other than that, the only time you're going to be specialing is on your opponent's turn when they kill one of your hands, or if you super poly one of their cards whenever like they're attacking you or whatever. So I think 3 Poly Duality really works out in this deck. To finish off the spells, I run 1 Dark Hole just to reset the field and be ready to turn the game around. So that's it for the spells. Onto the traps, I run 2 Mirror Force, and then I run 1 Deep Prison. I would run the 2nd Deep Prison, except I just didn't have room for it, and I didn't want to just... I like Mirror Force a little bit more, but I like having the Deep Prison just to get over like deals or whatever it is that's in the deck that I'm playing against. And then I run 1 Compulse, 1 Torrential, 1 Bottomless, and then I only run 1 Fiendish Chain. I want to bump it up to 2, but right now I just don't have another one, so I guess you play what you got, And then just to round it off, I run the 7 Tools of the Bandit. So that's it for the main deck. Onto the extra deck. Like any Elemental Hero deck, you run every attribute in your extra deck just so that you have an answer to whatever deck you're playing against. So you can run 2 of any of these cards, but I only run 2 of like 3 different ones, I think. So I run 2 Elemental Hero the Shining because I run Neos Alias, so he's a light, so he's always going to be live for my Miracle Fusion. And then there are a few really good light decks out there like Bujins, so it's good to have 2 the Shinings just to have an answer for that. I run 2 Nova Master. Fire is a big thing right now with Fire Fists and Fire Kings, and then your Fire Hands are going to be in your grave too, so you have access to that. I run 2 Absolute Zero because he's a beast. He's just insane. If he leaves the field, he blows up your opponent's field. So again, you have the Ice Hands to go to him, and then Mermails are really big. I run 2 Elemental Hero Gaia because Earth's pretty big. You actually don't have an out to it in your main deck, but Geargias are so big right now that this really, I mean, this is you're gonna need 2 of them probably, and then you have a way to get into it for the in the extra deck, which I'll show you in a little bit. And then I run 1 Great Tornado. This is probably the only one I wouldn't run 2 of, just because there's no wind decks that are really big right now. Harpies were big last format, but I don't think they're going to be that big this format. So you don't have a lot of wind matchups, so just 1 Great Tornado is really good. And then I run 1 Esquirto. I would maybe consider dropping this, or upping this to 2 and dropping Gaia to 1, or even maybe taking out Tornado and just putting it in the side deck. There are a lot of good dark decks out there, obviously, and so Esquirto's usually pretty live. So that's all the fusions that you run. I run 5 XYZs. So to start that off, I run 1 Gaia Cowboy, obviously just to go for game. I run 1 Maestroke, just if I have to protect myself for a little bit. I run 1 Daigusto Emerald. I run Emerald in just about every deck that can make use of him. The one reason I run him in this deck is because sometimes you're going to go through your hands really fast, and this is just a way to reload that and make them live again. So, and then sometimes you draw into like 2 Fire Hands on your opening hand, which really sucks. So you can just hold that other Fire Hand in your hand, and Emerald will make them live again in a little bit. So, really good extra deck card. And then I run 1 Excalibur just because he's a 4,000 beat stick. I mean, you can even go for game in some situations with this. So much attack. I mean, you're gonna do a lot of damage when you bring him out. And then of course the 1 Shark. Just to steal the Beals if you have to play against that. There are other ways to get around stuff in this deck, so Arc isn't as needed as it is in other decks, but he's still really good. Even if you just bring him out and then you don't even steal anything, you just attack for 21, you know, you can save him twice, so obviously just a really good card. And then the reason I picked these 5 specifically is they're all different attributes, so they all are just extra fuel for your extra deck. So this is what I was running in my extra deck. It's been working out for me pretty good. If I had to change anything, I would probably add like an Exciton Knight, or maybe like, you know, I don't even know what I would add other than that. Maybe like a, what is it called, the 1 Ninja that can attack twice. But besides that, I think this extra deck has worked out pretty good. Elemental Heroes obviously have to spend a lot of time on their fusions, so you don't have room for the XCs, but these are the 5 that I run. So that was our deck profile for Elemental Heroes for the Hands of Justice. So go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about it. For the 7 Tools of the Bandit, it's the 1 trap that I just kind of threw in there because I had room. Let me know what you think this should be. I'm thinking it should be a Phoenix Chain, but if you guys have a better idea for me out there, just go ahead and let me know. I love hearing from you guys, and you guys always seem to have really good ideas. So yeah, go ahead and hit us up. This was Team Change Your Heart. Thanks a lot, YouTube.